Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed part one of the podcast with Meredith Benvenuto. We have a whole second part for you now with amazing tips, tricks, hacks, all kinds of fun stuff, all things weddings. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let's jump right in. Here we go. So this is, I think, a good segue to maybe talk about, on having the communication,
Yeah.
right? And being able to be on the same page and know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a little incident.
I did. And I do want to make it very clear that I have spoken to the couple and they are totally fine with me talking about this. I'm not going to give any names, but it is important to me that everybody knows that your secrets are safe with me. And I would never talk about this if I did not have the go ahead from my couple.
Nice.
Okay. So I'll set the stage for you here.
Yeah.
All right.
This couple did everything right. They are the dream couple that you are just desperate to have. And this was a luxury wedding. This is at a 4-star resort. This is an incredibly beautiful wedding. They dumped so much money in an incredible photographer, videographer, food, dress. She looked amazing, floral, everything. And it got toward the end of the planning process, and I get it. You're just like, I just can't throw any more money out the door. Mm-hmm. And so we went with a more budget-friendly DJ.
Yep.
Now, I had worked with this DJ in the past, but this was, I'm telling you, and it was someone that worked for the company who I had not worked with before. And so it was an outdoor wedding, and we get there, and everybody's starting to get seated. First of all, he didn't want to use my walkies, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I'm standing there with the officiant, and I give him the go-ahead to start, and he walks down the aisle, and I'm like, what is he doing? Oh, my God. What is he doing? But you have to remember, I'm half a football field away. And I hear him say, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, super excited for everybody to be here today. Let me hear it. Who's here for love? and these,
I love it.
my jaw is dropped. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe he's just going to go back down. And then he goes, okay, now I got to get a lot more energy from you right now. Who is here for Team Groom? And they were like,
This is before the ceremony?
Correct. And people start clapping, and then he goes,
awkward.
let me hear it for the bride. And then he goes, that wasn't loud enough at all.
Oh my gosh.
And makes them start doing it again. And I'm literally just frozen because I know I can't get there in time. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, at this point,
Early
it's
enough,
like the
it's-
damage is like
Yes.
done. Like, hurry up, right?
Come on, get it done.
Did, and he made some cheesy jokes about the bar, and this is not that kind of event.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, you know what? Fine. He did something a little weird. He made an unplugged announcement that was incorrect. That's not how we were doing it. And the officiant looked at me and said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So I'm like, fine, we're okay. So the ceremony happens. It's fine. And then I go up to him and I say, we're ready for the grand entrance. And I said, are you ready with the song? And he goes, they didn't pick one. And I said, they didn't pick one. Now, this couple was meticulous. Mm-hmm. I know they picked one. But I'm like, we got to do a grand entrance anyway. And I'm like, pick whatever.
Yeah.
So he does, tonight's going to be a good. And so they hear it going and they're like, this isn't the song.
Not our song.
And I'm like, okay, so he missed this one. And then I'm realizing throughout the night, because they asked during dinner for like slow, female-centric country, especially
Nice.
90s.
Oh, cool.
Faith Hill,
Yeah.
Shania
Yeah.
Twain, right?
Dixie Chicks, stuff. Yeah.
He opens with Santana and Rob Thomas, Smooth, which he
Okay.
played twice.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. Yeah, bruh, in a huge way. And so it's keeping going, and he keeps my timelines are madness. They are 85 lines. I am very specific about my timelines, and I don't mess around with them. And I'm like, are we working off different timelines? Because he never was ready. And so I kept saying, okay, now we're going to go do the hora, and now we're going to go do the special song. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like,
Jeez.
okay. So that wasn't, here's where it got bad. So,
Oh, it's not bad yet?
it got bad. So they were very specific about what they wanted. They wanted modern, female-centric artists. Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Lady Gaga. And they're saying, we don't need it all to be like that, but we would
this
like
is the
that
stuff we like.
focus.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I go up to him about halfway through the night, and I'm like, I think there might have been a miscommunication. Can we focus a little more on the female artists, like Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan. He goes, "What's a Chappell Roan?" And I was like,
That's crazy.
"Oh my gosh!" I mean, she
That's
just won.
crazy. We were just talking about it. Like,
I was shocked.
if you're a DJ, you should know this stuff.
You should know this.
I don't
stuff.
listen to Chappell Roan, but I know Pink Pony.
This is part of our
We all
job.
do.
I think I still like it.
You have to stay up. You have to stay up on this stuff. That's what we signed up for. We signed up to do events.
Yes.
And to know music. Now, I'm not saying you have to know every single song known to man, but you better know that what's current and what's hitting.
This is why they're hiring you. This is your job.
Literally, Hot to Go is like the number one song right now.
Yeah.
And she wrote it out. I mean, it was in all of their paperwork. And I think, realistically, I think he didn't want to play it. It wasn't his style of music. And he was pretty frustrated that I had brought them to but the couple kept coming to me and going,
Yeah.
what
they're
is
like,
going on?
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, people aren't dancing if I do that." And I said, "People aren't dancing right now."
Yeah.
So
And you haven't played any of it.
Yep.
anyway, I get a call the Sunday after from the owner, and he's like, "Yeah, he said that you were bossy and combative."
Jeez.
I said, "Oh
Combative.
dear, bossy, I'll give you, but that's because I'm the boss.
Yeah.
On the day you hire me to be the boss, but
That's quite the word.
It really was. I was really surprised because I am I'm firm but gentle.
Were you wearing army boots that night?
I was not. No, it was very strange. And this poor couple who had poured their heart and soul into
That's frustrating.
planning, all to save,
Right.
a couple $100, and I couldn't talk them into it. And I know they're heartbroken. I know they regret it. So when you ask, like, really, what's the difference between these two quotes? That's the answer. Is that accountability factor and following a timeline and executing what you're asking for. That's the answer there. And, when they look back at their wedding, they have all these incredible memories that are just tainted because of the way that he chose to engage with his
See,
wedding.
I feel like the role of the DJ is one of those it's
Totally.
one of the most important roles because of all of the investment and work and time that they put into planning. And it just I'm sure it's still a beautiful day and you still have a good day, but like it leaves a bad taste in your mouth when the entertainment isn't
Yes.
to that
It
level.
just, you don't,
The flowers could have fell short, and if the entertainment was dope, it would
People
have been
wouldn't
fine.
remember.
you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where these things that we've been talking about earlier, all the announcements and the ability to DJ and all this stuff. Those are a lot of things that your DJ / event company is going to provide, and there's a difference in quality. Like I said before, I'll say it again: not all DJs are cut from the same cloth. The experience levels are a lot different. I just went out and purchased a brand new sound system, and did I need it? Honestly, no, I didn't. What we had was already really good. It was great, but in all honesty, this is even better.
Yeah.
So
It's quite the upgrade.
So I had 15 years ago when I started, and I thought then my speakers sounded great. But I guarantee you, if I put that system that I had 15 years ago against this amazing DSP, I can throw all these terms at you, like
letters and numbers.
Blow it out of the water.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like it's the little things that add up over time, the experience and the building up, and
Yes.
it matters. Like, and it's
Well, and the reinvestment
more valuable.
in
The
the business.
reinvestment.
In
Oh,
the business,
I
we're
forgot.
it's one of those things that we're actively trying to not buy things, but make sure the show is at top tier, at the best it can be, and and not just relying on this works, we know it works, we're good, we'll cover our bases. It's like, no, how can we improve it? How can we make it better? Stuff like moving to Sound Switch we did a couple years back. Like
you go.
it was just a lighting software, but it really streamlined our whole thing to really elevate the whole event.
You
And
guys are
now
always chasing
trying,
that
right,
next goal.
we do buy equipment that sometimes we don't use all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we do, I feel like, do a good job at making use of everything.
I'll
that
tell
we
you
have.
what, that system, I just used it for the first time this past weekend. And immediately, so not to get too technical here, but I was able to really EQ and tune the system the way it's supposed to be properly done, which I guarantee you 99% of DJs don't do because we didn't do it before either. Where I've got all the high-end frequencies going to the tops and all the low-end frequencies going to the subs are completely separate. And why does this matter? Because my mixer allows the microphone to be routed only to the tops, where the low-end frequencies are what going to mainly give you your feedback. So what happens? I give the microphone to the father of the bride, and he goes and stands right directly in front of this speaker stack. Well, what happens with most DJs when you go stand right in front of a speaker?
Every time.
Not even close with this.
Yeah,
He
that's
could have
cool.
gone and put his face up to my speaker grill and not an ounce of feedback. And that
See,
is
that's
like,
nice.
I didn't have a worry in the world. You know, I mean, it sounded so crystal clear. Oh,
And those are the
so good.
expectations. You hand me the mic. I'm just a novice I just need to speak. I'm a dad.
And you're
making a speech.
nervous.
Yeah. So I'm walking around doing my thing. I don't want to have to worry about a speaker feedback.
Yeah.
You know, that's so nice. The peace of mind of that being professionally taken care of, and you just do your thing.
Well, that was the other thing was his mic for the ceremony on the groom cut out because he put lav mics on him and it was so windy. And I was like, even I know you don't do that. But he said, hey, make sure the groom's mic is on. I said, oh, okay, we turned it on. He walks out there. And so he had told the owner of the company that I turned it off. I was like,
Heck.
How would you even be able to turn it off?
to what end? Why would I do that?
Right.
Yeah.
It was just such a strange.
Like you're just out to get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this DJ look bad by making my groom not being heard. Like
Oh
there's
my
no.
gosh,
That doesn't make
no.
sense. There's no
I would-
motive there.
I would do
Like, why would you do
anything
that?
for my couples.
Yeah.
It was just so strange, but it does give me a really good narrative when we're looking side by side at those quotes where I can say, this is the difference.
Right.
When you're looking at a Cutmaster, this is going to be the place where you want to put that money because I know it's always the place people want to trim, and I understand it's just not the place to do it.
My guarantee is a worry-free wedding day. You know,
Yep.
Who else can promise that?
that's
Who else can promise that? And the
that's all
other
we
thing
want.
is, I know that if you arrived there with equipment that was malfunctioning, I know you've got
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
to back it up.
Yep.
right.
That's the
do.
difference. And so your friend that's a DJ, that sounds great. But if your friend's dog gets sick, they're not coming.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you that. And it's an entirely different experience. So I will, because it's my job is so tough because I really don't want people to spend beyond their means ever.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I also,
But
I-
you
I
also
know
want them to
what's gonna
have the
happen.
experience that they want, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Prioritize what you value. I think that's we align with clients who want the entertainment first. They really do put that first, and that's where I've always found like, okay, you really want to have a good party. Well, we're your guys, and we'll take care of you, and we'll help you out with whatever you need. And typically they're like, yes, let's book it, let's go, and then once that's done, it's all fun.
It is. And you guys also don't have, you don't have the cheesy factor.
Not a lot of people like it, you know.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, there are people who crush it too, though, like who are really good at it. But like,
Yeah.
but
that's
it's
a
just-
special. I mean, we've talked about
Yeah.
different strokes for different folks, right? But yeah, that's not our thing, and that's not the couples that are booking us. They don't want the cheese ball wedding DJ. Really, honestly, they don't want the guy that's going to go up there in front of the ceremony beforehand
up.
in radio voice.
This crowd, no, this
You know.
side. That's crazy.
It was
That's
my
the most
watch
corniest
was
thing I've
literally
ever
going,
heard.
"Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm not."
Your heart was.
It was wild. I have never in my life ever seen a DJ do that.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I'm still.
I'll do an
completely
unplugged
baffled.
announcement for sure. What's up, everybody?
Sure.
Welcome. Just want to remind you, keep those phones away.
Well, when
We're
you're
gonna get started.
asked,
I'm a-
I don't think you'd ever go up there just and go,
Out
No,
of
no, no,
nowhere.
no.
go rogue.
I always make sure who's making that announcement. Is it the officiant, or do you want me to make it?
Oh, I have a very specific approach to Unplugged because it
What's
is
the approach?
that important to
Yeah.
me. I cannot tell you how much it's going to ruin your ceremony. People have gotten so bold with those phones,
Yep.
and they don't know that they're ruining it. That's the problem.
Yeah. So do you find
Yes.
it best to make the announcement?
So I have a three-pronged approach. Most people just put up the sign. They think that's enough. It's not enough. So you're going to put up the sign. It's going to be in your programs. It's going to be on your website. Now, here's the second prong. You are going to have your ushers, as you are seating them, to say, the couple has requested an unplugged ceremony. What that means is, because if we just say unplugged, a lot of people might not know what that means.
Sure.
Vibrate.
Absolutely no photos, no videos. Will you join me in respecting the couple's wishes? That phrasing is a little weird, and it's like, oh, okay. So now they've sat down. Now what's going to happen is the officiant is going to come out. The officiant says, can I have everybody grab their phones? And everybody's like, seriously? And he goes, oh, yeah, seriously. And you wait until everybody brings them out. And you're going to say, if I could have everybody power them down or at least stow them. The couple has asked for an unplugged ceremony. What means? The photographers and videographers are here going to capture every image you could possibly need that are going to be available soon after today. So, please join me in respecting the couple's wishes and put it down. And now what has happened is peer pressure.
Yeah.
Everybody heard it individually,
Right.
and everybody heard it at the same time. And now we all know that we all heard it. So if you see somebody, you're like, you're not doing it right. It's that peer pressure that gets people. And as a planner, I always confirm with my couple that this is what they want. If people choose not to honor it, I will tap them on the shoulder and ask them to stop. If they choose to do it again, I'm going to ask them to step out. And it's worth it when you see your pictures.
Totally. It really is,
I got a question. Are you in favor? I've seen this happen a
I already
few
know what you're going to
times.
say. Nope. 60-second photo shoot up top.
Or yeah, like the
your pics
take
now.
Your pics, take a pic now,
Right
then
in the
put 'em
beginning.
away.
Hate them. The reason is, I'm sorry. The reason I'm not a huge fan of it is because now what has happened is you'll say, okay, everybody, we've got 60 seconds to take as many pictures as you can of the couple. And so we're shooting. Let's sit down. Camera's right here in your pocket or right here on your lap.
Not stowed.
Correct. So in every picture, you're still going to have people's phones in every picture. And now it's just, if you give a mouse a cookie, you're just going to a
tempting
real
it.
quick.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
I'm okay with it if that's what the couple wants to do, but I always tell them if your number one goal is to make sure that guests are experiencing your wedding
Right.
through their own bodies and not through a screen,
Yeah.
this is really the only way to do it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I often will say, like, 3 months from now, you're going to see those photos and you're going to be pissed that there's going to be a phone in there and that's not going to be able to be edited
You
out.
don't want to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it where they edit chickens
Yes.
instead of phones? I love that. I think it's so
So
funny.
funny. That's such a good way to
It's
do it.
just people are shameful, and it's
Yeah.
mostly boomers. Like
Yeah.
I've gotten
Typically as older people.
Totally is.
people have been real angry with
They
me
get
on
mad.
the internet. Well, no, online. People have
Oh.
said they are very angry because they're like, no, it's not. It's the Gen Z. No, it's not. It's not. It's and they do
The
not.
boomers bring out the iPad.
Yeah.
They
do.
You seen that thing out
Oh my gosh, it is absolutely wild. And it, unfortunately, what it means is you're going to look out at your guests and you're going to see screens and not faces.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's for you as well.
Well, there was one of the, maybe it was on the vendor pod or something like that. They had posted a video where the photographer is running up to the one lady that has her phone out there and taps her and, has her move out of the way when taking the pictures.
Ah.
But, yeah.
Because the truth is, at the end of the day, when you look at your pictures, you're probably going to get 30 perfect shots. And the photographer is going to take thousands.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what you have to remember is you might have just missed one of the 30. You might have missed one of the perfect shots because Aunt Ruth can't follow directions.
Right.
I like that 3-prong system. That's a really good
Yeah,
system.
that's
Just
good.
kind
I'm
of
a little strict about it. Yeah.
No, I love it. It's a smart way to just get an idea in their head and get it really just as opposed to just a sign.
And if you're uncomfortable with
Reinforcement
that,
is
I am okay with a very nicely printed note on every chair.
Love it.
That's another option as well. If you're uncomfortable with that one, I think that's effective as well.
Nice. Those are good ones.
But unplugged all day long.
For sure.
Okay. Here's an interesting question. Is it possible to make or get shorter versions of songs if we can't afford a DJ?
What is that?
What does that mean?
No, so I know exactly what that means. They want quick mixing.
They want a DJ, but
They want a DJ, but they can't afford to have a DJ. So can we just get the shorter versions of the song so we don't have to listen to 5 minutes of Usher?
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. This is a skill. We do this all the time where we create our own edits, right? And I would love for somebody that doesn't know how to use an editor like Ableton or Final Cut or whatever, and to go ahead and try and do it. And let's see how long it takes you to just do 5 songs.
Make an edit.
Because-
make a shorter version of, make a 2.5 version of a 5-minute song. It's challenging.
Well, there's a reason you guys have a job.
Yeah.
Right.
The answer to that is no.
Yeah.
There's
I don't
not a
know.
way.
There's not a lot of ways to do it.
I mean, is it possible? It's possible. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But
You're gonna have to
I've
dedicate
got I've got
quite the work.
a lot of years of experience, doing this and making sure it's the right quality. I mean, so it can be done,
And
but
it's-
there's hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of YouTube you can watch on how to do it.
Good luck.
But it's just like a photographer. You can go snap some pictures and go download Photoshop. Good luck.
Yeah. But then
Good luck trying to get it to look like
I always
Mara
think-
Jane's
yeah.
photos.
Or like shooting a wedding day is insane.
It's
You
an,
can
in
be a photographer, but what it takes to shoot a wedding day is wild.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I have an
Organization.
organized aunt who's going to
Yeah.
coordinate my wedding. Okay.
Good luck.
She doesn't have the experience. She doesn't have the steady hand. She's not, you want strangers. I know that sounds strange, but you want strangers on your day
Yeah.
to work your events. So the answer to that is no. My answer to that is cut 10 people off your guest list and hire a real DJ.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love what you're saying on wanting to hire strangers as opposed to family or friends. There's this weird dynamic where you hire a family member and it's almost like, oh, they're good. We're family. It's all good. When it's a stranger, it's a clear line of service. You're paying me $1 amount and I need to deliver. And so that's what I think is like super, super important. But I love that.
Such a pusher of frienders. Okay.
Okay, speaking of family members, daughter wants a band. I think that DJs have more selection. Sounds like this is maybe mom. Yeah, it's mom asking for daughter. She goes, thoughts on a band or a DJ?
Is the band going to run your ceremony?
Yep.
There you go.
Is my question.
Okay, so maybe they're not having, it's not for the ceremony.
Okay.
They're not, ceremony's off-site, Catholic ceremony.
Okay.
So it's 10 days before.
I listen, I am partial to DJs. I think that it is a better flow of the day. That is not to say that there are not unbelievably amazing bands. I have seen incredible stuff.
Totally.
But I think you would have to invest a lot of money for it to be at the level that you want. But this is that's a personal feeling there. What do you guys think?
Go for it.
I was thinking of MC ability, announcements,
Exactly.
and all of that. They often need to take breaks. The bands are great because of what they can do for a lot of different demographics. They really can bring a lot of people together just because they're a band.
Agreed.
But yeah, if you need somebody to announce the first dances, the formal dances, who's going to be introducing the toasters, making the grand entrances, that's where the value of having the DJ MC comes into play. And then, yeah, they only have a certain collection of songs. So if you do need to pivot, it's one of those things.
And that's what I was going to say. You know, with a band, it's you're kind of limited. So it depends on the band first and foremost, because you're right. I've seen some like Jordan Kahn Orchestra, like, oh my God, like amazing. And they've got like typically 3 or 4 different singers. So you're kind of getting different vibes, right? Like within the band. But most bands here, at least that I know of, and, you know, locally, it's 1, maybe 2 singers. All the songs, even though they're playing different songs, they all sound the same. All right. Now the pros is it's a band, it's live music, so I get that. I love live music. That's why I go and see a band. I'm going there.
The dynamic of the live band
get
that
it.
makes it
Right.
cool.
But this is wedding music that we're talking about.
Correct.
And you've got a lot of different age demographics. So like you just said, if I go to a wedding right now and it's mostly, I look in the audience and I see 20-somethings and I go to the band, can you play Chapel Rowan?
Yeah. Nope.
Right? Can you play some Dua Lipa?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not happening.
no, it's not going to happen.
No.
And so, and here's the other thing: is nobody sounds like Chapel Rowan, nobody except for her. Nobody sounds like Bruno except for Bruno.
Correct.
I can pivot. I can do mashups. Is the band going to do a mashup? You know, like it just.
I've seen them, but it's not common.
It's pretty rare, right?
I've never seen it at a wedding.
Right. So those are all the things, and those are the pros and cons. So now here's the other thing: if you have the budget, you can do both, which you've done.
We've done it a few times in the
Yeah.
past.
I've seen it. I
where
love it.
They'll open up the dance floor. We handle all announcements,
Great.
everything during dinner. They go for the first hour. We relieve them for 30 minutes.
I was just about to say that is bands are humans and they need to take breaks.
Yeah.
DJs are able to pop something on there, go grab something to eat, run to the bathroom.
We're not
come
human.
back.
We don't take breaks.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's a little bit easier for us.
No, we don't. We
Way.
don't take breaks.
We don't.
Tony's not human. Have you? You haven't done an event with him.
I will stay behind the booth the whole time. But that's.
Well, no, he's just 1,000. There's no
Okay, I hear. I'm the
there's
same
no off
way.
switch. It's Red
It's
Bull.
wedding day, you know,
I'm
and
the
it's just
same
one of those
way.
things. You're
My-
riding the momentum of the day, and then when the music comes on,
You
I'm
don't
just
feel
vibing.
anything, and
I'm
then
having
like
fun.
how much like the music goes off at the end of the night, and then that adrenaline wears down, and you're like, oh, I'm
yeah.
in pain.
Oh,
it's
man.
tough. You know, you got the tear down and all of that, but usually when you get home at like 2 a.m. and you're just wide awake off the momentum
Yeah.
of the night, you
You're
know,
like, I'm getting too old for this.
yeah, it's tricky sometimes when you're trying to find that balance of like, I love coming home from work and like calming down.
Yes.
But I'm getting home at like 2, 3 a.m. and you're like, oh my God, it's already 4. I need to
Wired.
go to bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's challenging, but you know, the band DJ combo, cool, but
Yeah.
DJ has a lot more versatility.
100%.
There you go. Okay. Does hiring a separate guitarist for just the ceremony or cocktail hour make things complicated?
No,
Not at all.
Nope. Easy answer.
Easy.
Not at all.
I'm pumped when that happens. I'm like, cool.
I know. Actually, we don't really have anything to do with it. They typically bring their own gear and equipment, separate of ours. We're not doing anything with it. So perfectly fine. Just know that typically that's going to be separate of your DJ
Yes.
service and company. So, but perfectly fine.
Cool experience.
Totally.
No problem at all.
So that could kind of go along with this question. Does the DJ typically provide the microphone for the officiant? And then there was another question that said, should we use a mic during our vows?
Yes.
So-
and yes.
Yes and yes.
So I'm going to say, though, it depends.
There's some venues that do provide.
So last week,
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah, like there's the venues might provide microphones. So I was when we do events over at like the golf course at Sandia, the event center at the Sandia golf course, they have all their microphones built into like
their in-house system.
It's in house. The rocks literally have speakers.
They've
And
got a
stuff out
nice
there.
little mic directional fin on the top.
Yeah.
It's
So you
just-
want to use there.
Right.
It's a really nice technical
Exactly.
mic.
It's set up. It's ready to go. So we always direct people to using theirs. Actually, even when I go to Hotel Albuquerque, the Tamaya, it's typically included in their ceremony package.
Yep.
And because I know those guys and what they're using and what they do, it's perfectly fine and it's great. And I allow them to do that. And then we just plug in, like, usually it's like laptop, little mini controller into their system, and we run the music for you.
Yeah.
So that way you have that off your plate. But I would say it depends. You need to find out, is it included in your package with the venue? Do they handle the microphones?
Just ask the questions.
Yeah.
I had my groom for my wedding in 2 weeks. He was like, just want to confirm you're going to be providing the mics for the ceremony. I was like, oh, yeah. Got a lapel, handheld. We're ready to go. And he's like, okay, great. But, double checking that whoever's handling your sound.
Yeah. Who's handling? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Answer.
know who's handling it and then know where to ask the right questions.
Yeah. Great
Yep.
answer.
Yep. Okay. For swirling lighting effects projected onto the ceiling of the venue, DJ or decor vendor?
So are they talking about like moving heads?
So that's exactly what my guess is you've seen or been to a wedding where you saw these cool projections on the
thinking,
ceiling,
yeah.
maybe doing a little bit of movement or stuff like that. So the answer to this question would be that it could be the DJ. You need to ask them if they are able to provide that, and typically those are done with moving heads. If you were to ask us to do that, and that's how we would do it, is with moving head lighting to be able to project a pattern on the ceiling.
Yep.
Now, the only caveat with that is that those are also used as your typically your dance floor lighting.
Right.
So when we get to the party, that projection is going to be gone because we're using those lights on your dance floor and they're moving all around. So, or do you want it to be static? Some DJ companies provide static, what they're called Lecos, and they'll put those projections on the walls and ceilings. Some don't. We've kind of gotten away from that ourselves, but there are decor companies that will do that as well.
Yeah, like with projection, right? And they're projecting like a champagne room, and then they're projecting big onto the wall, and it looks like it's all champagne.
And
or
maybe
gobos, right? Yeah.
Right. And maybe the venue might take care of that too. Like I know like a Sandia resort can do a lot of monogram, gobo projection.
Yep.
Or Hotel Albuquerque has the lighting in the ceiling.
Right.
But if you're looking for a lot of like uplighting, pin spotting, that kind of thing, you might want to look into a decor company. But if this is more about entertainment, you really just need to ask
them what
what's
they offer.
available.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, all companies offer different services. So we used to do a lot of monogram stuff. We've gotten away from that.
It's transitioned to the video monogram now. I feel like we still do monograms, but it's on our video
Right.
DJ booth as
I can-
opposed
oh, I
to
can
like
see that.
being
Yeah,
projected
yeah.
onto the wall.
That makes sense.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. I think we answered that question. Does having a DJ as the MC work? Thinking of a dance floor hype person.
Oh.
So I feel like this question
What's
is,
your crowd like? Do they need a hype person? Because if they're
Yeah.
dull, you know what I mean? If your party crowd and you rate them on like a scale of 1 to 10, a 3 or 4,
Yeah.
and you need that extra energy, and the DJ isn't doing that, you
Yeah.
know, like me, I like to think of that as like it almost goes into the category of cheese. when you're on the mic too much
agree.
during open dance.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know, you're trying to get everybody hype, and you're like, dude, you're trying too
much.
hard. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
too much. I mean, it's a big thing on the East Coast, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, that
Right.
person. It's a big thing. And I personally, this is when you look at your guest list, there are going to be 5 people on your guest list that you know are going to hype up your dance floor. And I want you to call them a week before the wedding, and I would say, I want you to show up and show out. And if it gets dull, I want you to take it there. So you already have those people on your guest list. Use them. To be honest, if it needs to happen, I'll be out there. I'll be your planner on the dance floor. I will get everybody going. But I do think it can lend itself a little bit to the cheese factor. So you already know those people. Those people
This
are
is,
there.
I'm going to say it again. I'm like a broken record and I might sound biased, but this is where a great DJ comes into play because we really pride ourselves on being able to hype up your crowd, quote unquote, with music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with music and with,
I'll give you a 1, 2, 3 jump every now and then. But
sure.
Other
Like,
than that,
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yeah, right.
But it's not every song.
No.
And it's not. We don't have to do that kind of
no,
stuff.
the music can kind of speak for you. And when you're able to drop in a random whatever, Poison, Belle Biv DeVoe, and that hits, and people are like, oh,
So good.
they go crazy, right?
Too much talking sounds gimmicky.
Yeah.
And I think that's what our couples don't want. They don't want that they don't want to feel like we're trying to do gimmicky things and, just stuff like that. So, I guess it depends on what type of event you want. And if you want a lot of talking, I would say there are DJs that's what they kind of specialize in, is doing a lot of mic work and that sort of thing.
But again, now I'm going to sound like a broken record, but this is what makes you guys different than everybody else, is because you don't have to rely on the gimmicks.
Yeah.
You are able to create that incredible atmosphere from your talent.
Yeah.
That's what makes you different.
That's and we're not the only ones, people. I'm telling you, there's great DJs
no,
out
Yeah.
great
there.
DJs
Yeah,
all
so you
over.
just a lot out
You
there. You
have
just
to
got
do
to
your
find.
you got to do your due
Yeah,
diligence.
well, I've just got 2 right in front of me. So
we go.
I'm talking to these 2. Yes, obviously.
Okay, let's see. So this is on the opposite tip here. DJ doesn't provide lighting effects. Any suggestions on what products I can buy to set up?
No, no,
Hit Amazon.
absolutely not.
Do not do that. Just
No,
kidding.
do not do that. DIY is hands down the #1 way that you are gonna screw up your day.
Yeah.
That is way outside of your scope. Please hire a decor company. I'm begging you not to do that. Whoever of my followers said that, please, I'm begging. Don't do that.
So this is what I would say too.
There's not like a
if you-
magic light that you can just buy on Amazon.
No.
If your DJ is not providing lighting, that's okay. I mean, I would say most DJs, like probably over 90% of us, are doing lighting. So if the DJ isn't providing lighting, that might be a red flag to me right there. Is this something that they do professionally? Is it something they do all the time? Because I'm just going to tell you right now, the DJs I know that are at a super high level, not only do they provide lighting, they provide professional lighting. And the lighting matters as well, and it's not all DJ lights are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because I'm going to tell you, I'm not to bag on all the DJs out there, but all you got to do is go look on a Saturday at a bunch of different DJs' websites and what they're posting out there, and you're going to see dots and lasers all over the place. And the really high-end DJs are not doing that kind of stuff. Their lights are providing nice washes. They might provide some little effects and things like that.
They complement the space, and it comes through in the photos.
Right.
It's not just red,
I was
blue,
just about to say with photos.
LEDs on their face, lasers.
Imagine your first
These are
dance.
lit up beautifully.
This is something you've been dreaming of your whole life. My first dance with my new husband, and my pictures have literally green dots all over my
Those,
face,
like just
and,
flashing
and on my
lights. You're like,
on my
oh
dress.
My God, just turn it off for the first dance.
You know,
I was
Totally agree.
so now you are talking about purchasing the lighting yourself. And what most people think of when it comes to DJ lighting is the DJ lights. And so you're probably going to go purchase something cheap because
wanna
I'm
save
just
money.
telling you the DJ lights,
They're expensive.
I was going to show our LED pixel tubes here. They're expensive. These things that we're using, we're using them here in studio. These are $450 a light. It's not cheap. Moving heads, you're looking at probably for like a decent moving head around $1,000 to $2,000
Yep.
per light. You're gonna go spend that on your one time, like for you as a couple would be a one time use.
Yeah.
That is not a good use of your
then,
money.
And then who's running that? Who's setting that up?
Oh yeah.
Or do you
By
have
the way,
software?
do you know
So that is
DX
step
lighting?
6 in DIY setup on my page, and that is step 11, invest. So
Love
yes,
it.
you're both correct. Who is setting that up? And is it going to have an impact? Because you're going to go spend $49.99 on that little
Yeah.
dome thing.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
Spencer.
really think it's going to project? Oh my gosh, it's better not to do anything at all.
Yeah.
I would agree. You'd be better off just having no lighting because you are not going to be happy. So the advice here is do not go purchase your own lighting. If lighting matters to you and environment and atmosphere matters, you need to look at another company.
Yeah.
That's
And if you had to choose just one thing, I would invest in uplighting for the room. Even just a
Totally agree.
static color uplighting can transform your space. It really changes the room. You have some color, but it's fine as long if the music's good and you got some color around the room. It doesn't have to be crazy.
Oh,
but
I will push up lighting all day long.
I would
It's
say push that.
unbelievable.
Or
it works.
if you like that DJ and you are set on that DJ, go bring in a decor company.
Yeah,
that can
that's
handle
that's
that
what I
for you.
mean is like, and then if they're having all of these different options, string lighting, moving head, whatever, and you still want to save money, you're just all you need is uplighting to get the job done.
Agreed.
Okay. We'll do a few more here
'Kay.
before we end.
Nice.
How should we go see DJs in action to see their vibe? How to choose? That's a good question.
You know, I think that's up to the DJ. They have to put themselves out there.
I agree.
Like me, I DJ every Thursday at Marble Heights,
Nice.
and I had a bride and groom come watch me.
I'll come
And they-
watch you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm there every Thursday. We're at least till October now. They booked
Okay.
me for September, and now we're doing October. I won't be there next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what was great about that was they saw me spin live, and they were like, "Yes,
We want
have
it.
to have it."
Have to have
You know,
it.
and that's what's really hard for our service is I'm a great DJ, but I can't just tell you that. It's really reassuring to get it on another level,
is.
to see it in some kind of practice. And we can't just have couples come crash weddings.
Well, but you can if you have a planner. So what I do is every couple is more than willing to let the next couple peek in for half an hour to watch. So what I do is I say, hey, are you okay? I've got a couple that's 3 months later than you. They just want to check out the DJ.
Yeah.
Is it okay if they pop in for a couple minutes? Every single one of my couples has always said, oh my gosh, of course, get some cake, get a drink at the
No
bar.
kidding.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
That's yeah. You know
do it all
what?
the time.
You're the first person I think I've ever heard
I'm mind blown.
say that
Really?
or
Yeah.
talk
Wow.
about that. That is that's a gold nugget tip
Yeah.
for you couples out there. And also a reason to have a planner because I, as a DJ, would probably never invite you to somebody's wedding, but I feel like the planner is become like family, really.
Yes.
with
Yeah.
them. And you can. I feel like you can ask that question.
Yes, because think about how much you would want to help the next couple.
Yeah.
Everybody feels the same way, but I do think it does need to come from a planner to be able to set that up. And anybody that does it, then they feel good about their choices. The next people feel good about their choices. It is a win-win-win all the way around.
I dig that. I like what Tony said though too. Really, DJs. We live in a time when you need to. Everything's accessible. We can put our stuff on social media,
Twitch,
on
live stream.
Live stream. I mean, some of us, like Tony and Victoria, for us, do nightlife where you can go see them in public settings. You know, so we tried. I don't do a lot of public events
You
anymore.
still have access to you.
Right,
lot.
and I want that. Right,
Mixes, lives.
we're putting content out there.
Yeah.
Because we want you to get a good idea of who we are because it is that important that you have a good fit. So I think it's great. We know when couples go see Tony at Marble and they're like, that's my dude. Like, you know what you're getting at your
Yeah.
wedding. Like that's now it is different being in a bar or nightlife than what the wedding is like, but you're going to get the vibe.
Yeah.
vibes,
They
see?
get the style, the DJ.
Yes.
They basically want to know you can DJ
Yeah.
pretty much, and they understand and so. But I also think, yeah, if you're a DJ, you should be putting yourself out there in some type of way.
You have to.
Yep.
And so I always, and once I finish my meeting, my consults with them, I'll send them 3 links to mixes that I have. Oh, I could tell you I'm a great DJ, but it's nice to hear some actual mixes.
Send them to me.
I got you. And they're like just one is a oldies,
Yeah.
so they can know. Oh, okay, they'll play stuff from my dad, but then there's pop new stuff too. Oh,
love
okay,
it.
he gets it.
And we put it on our website too.
we put
Actually,
it on our website.
We're on all on Mixcloud, so we actually require that of our DJs to make mixes, and we put them up on Mixcloud. And you can find stuff from Cutmaster Music on there, but we really like to do stuff even beyond that. We've got our own individual one, so you can get. And we put a lot of different stuff out there. So like I have a yacht rock mix on there. I've got a class of 1997, because that's when I graduated high school mix on there. I've got hip hop mixes, all this different stuff, right? So you can just see like the versatility. Tony does all kinds of different stuff too. So
But that's what we want to show them. Like, we can do a lot of different things. So whatever you're looking for, let me know. Let's make it happen.
I love that.
Yep. So speaking of other things that we love, and we are really trying to push this, and it's going to happen.
Got a meeting tomorrow.
So this was a great question. Is violin and DJ a good idea for the first hour?
Yes.
Always with
Rachel?
With Rachel with the sweet hair. Oh my gosh, she doesn't know who I am, but I know who she is, and she is darling.
She's great. We did a Marble Heights set a couple weeks back where just to play around with it. Let me spin while you're on the violin, and we'll just mess around for a couple hours. I'll get you paid, and it was fun. Everybody really
I love
enjoyed
how
it.
She's down in with.
She's
with
wireless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interactive.
You can tell she loves it, and I think if you're telling me to put somebody on a violin in a corner, is that gonna vibe up your cocktail hour? Maybe not. But what Rachel is doing is entirely different.
She's walking around, interacting, kind of giving private shows and different things like that.
Totally obsessed.
And then during open dance too, we have the ability with DJ software to like take out lyrics, and then she can do the lyrics on the violin.
Yeah.
I've seen it done before.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
So we're trying to push it hard. We had a couple reach out to us saying they want that. They saw it on our website, on our YouTube, and we're like, okay, let's go for it. So we have a meeting with them tomorrow. We're gonna see if everything works out.
Fingers crossed.
I
So
feel pretty confident.
the
though.
answer to your question is yes.
Yes.
Yes, do it.
Now here's the thing though. Okay.
Saxophonist. I'm trying to find somebody on the saxophone.
Instrumentalists are great, but also it's a skill. So know that it's a skill.
You can't just hire anybody who knows.
Right.
We're learning that ourselves, that you have to do a little bit of prep and practice and make sure you're doing it the correct way.
Yep.
Because you can't just kind of jump into it. You have to kind of have some songs preset and willing to pivot. But she was telling me she's been doing this for 27 years, violin.
I'm going to need her.
She doesn't even
skincare
look
routine.
27
I was
years
gonna
old.
say.
Rachel's not 27.
She's been doing it for 27 years. I'll say that.
I'm going to need her to drop
She's
that
been doing it.
skincare routine.
Pre-womb.
Good Lord.
Yeah, right. Doing well.
Okay. Wedding is less than 50 people. Does the DJ care? Do they do things differently?
Yes.
Yeah.
I take it into account.
I say no.
Why?
Because a 50-person wedding wants the same thing a 500-person wedding wants.
But they require different things, right?
Okay, so you're right. Honestly, what we would do differently, it's just a 500-person. The difference between a 500-person wedding and a 50-person wedding is gear.
Pretty much.
Okay, so yes, to fill up a ballroom, a gigantic ballroom, I need more uplighting. I need more dance floor lighting. I probably need a larger sound system. But as far as the actual DJing and music and announcements and stuff, a 50-person wedding, they want to have an amazing time too. A 500-person wedding, they all want it. Honestly, at the end of the day, the goals are the same for most weddings. Everybody wants to have a great time. We want great food.
Yep.
We want good vibes.
Everybody leaving thinking that was the best day ever.
So it's a matter of how to get there, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the tools that we're going to use to create the experience?
Yep.
And really, that's what I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah.
Is that I think a 50-person wedding honestly wants the same thing a 500-person does. Now, do we do things differently to get there? Yes.
Yeah,
you're right.
I think for me, I would want a good, clear understanding on what the guests want. With like a guest of 50, it's a numbers game in that. Like, so if you have half of the people dancing, it's not as big as 150 people, 500 people, half the people dancing. So taking into account what do you guys want to hear on that day, because there's just more of like, I guess, less people to.
You're right. There's the dynamics are a little bit different. So I'll give you an example.
You're right though.
Like our Los Poblanos weddings, they max out at 60 people.
Yeah.
Now, if you go look at our Instagram reels, you're going to see at Los Poblanos the dance floor is packed. And so we can still pack a 50, 60 person wedding. Now, Los Poblanos dance space is smaller, and it's
Yeah.
really
Helps.
is designed. It helps, but if you're in a massive ballroom with only 50 people, it's going to feel empty with all 50 people on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Correct.
So this is where having a good planner comes into play and can help you out in figuring out, okay, what's the best dance floor size?
Yeah.
What's the best room size? You know, how do we make the tables fit to make the room feel more full? Things like that.
No, that's a great thing to bring up, the dance floor size. I feel like that's slept on a lot.
It really
And
is.
people think bigger versus smaller,
Right.
and you need to go the
They feel like a bigger dance floor is going to mean more people.
No, I mean it's a healthy balance, because if you go too small, then people feel cramped.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally is an algorithm. Like, you literally plug in the numbers, and that's how I do. And you're going to get there's a right answer and a wrong answer.
Yeah, it's true.
There we go. So, so does the DJ care?
I don't know. I don't care.
I don't care if it's a 50-person wedding.
I
or
like to
500.
know. You know what I mean? It's good to know, but I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh God, I wish this was 150 or anything like that.
You know what? We
gonna
end
have
up
fun.
we talk through it because
I'm gonna look at everybody's eyes when I'm doing grand intro. That's a little different. You know, it's a lot more intimate when you
Yeah.
have less people.
it's kind of funny because I talk about the law of big numbers, and so I like and enjoy weddings that are large because I always tell our couples we're playing with the law of big numbers, and I'm going to have 150 people at your 500 person wedding on the dance floor minimum, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know,
That's always good. That's
so, which is
easy.
cool. Your dance, I guarantee your dance floor is always going to be packed. Now with the 50-person wedding, if I lose half of the people, 20, 25, it's gonna, it's the law of big numbers. Now I'm playing with the law of small numbers. So then we have that conversation. What are your goals? What are we trying to achieve?
we
Is
wanna
it-
hear, yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to hear? It helps if you, the couple, are on the dance floor.
Yes.
No matter.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes.
You guys are
Yes,
magnets
I say
on your
this
wedding day.
all the time. They are going to follow you where
Wherever
you
you
are.
are, Yep. yeah.
If you're out on the lawn playing cornhole, they are not going to come dance.
No.
Yeah.
I promise you. Even if you're not a huge dancer, be on the perimeter of the dance floor. Be right there.
Be in the room.
Yeah.
Because that can happen, especially places like Los Poblanos,
La Fonda.
La Fonda Event Center at Sandia, like where you've got these nice outdoor spaces.
Nature Point.
If you're not in the space, then
lose 'em.
and so my thing is like, look, I'm here for you guys. Honestly, I'm good as long as you're good. If you guys are good outside, just hearing the vibes inside, I don't ever judge a
long as the
successful
couple's
event.
happy.
Yeah, like I don't judge a successful event. To me, doesn't mean the dance floor is packed the whole entire time. Now, if you guys are looking, if you come inside and you bring all your friends inside, and we're looking to have good times on the dance floor, then yeah, like let's make sure we're playing bangers and the stuff that you want to hear, right?
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot with like peaks and valleys. You can't have peaks if you don't have valleys. So whatever that momentum can look like, you ride with it, and if they come back in, you give them the music
them
that they
ready to
want
go.
and get them going. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things. I did have a question. What's the smallest wedding you've ever done? Just curious. You too, Meredith.
16?
16.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine was 30.
I mean, we had 48 at our wedding, so yeah.
I'm trying to think.
It's only happened once or twice where it's really small. It's usually around 100.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had. I mean, I'm
Anything less
thinking of
than
the
50?
I'm thinking of the Los Poblanos weddings, especially coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like they were at like 40 or something
Yeah.
like that, 40 or 50. So we've done those there, but
Probably it. 40 or
honestly, I've never thought of them as any less or like that they were less fun or anything.
No,
like
I was
that.
just, I'm strictly numbers.
Right.
What's the lowest one you've ever done?
No.
I'm just curious.
No, and I'm just putting that out there. So, like, for those couples that are looking to have a smaller, more intimate wedding, it can absolutely be
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
We're seeing it more too because they're wanting to invest in the experience of the guest. You know what I mean? Like and so that's where you cut your 10 down and put the money towards
Can you
something
hit the
great.
clapping?
Yes. yes, I can.
Yay.
But yeah, so like investing in the client's experience.
Yes,
And all that.
I'm such a big pusher of client experience because
Or guest
these guests that you're inviting, you want to be able to create that experience for them, and realistically, the way that you can do that is by investing. And it's all about how that money goes and where. And this is why hiring a planner early in the process, because they can show you how to do it without going a dime over your budget.
Yeah, give you a little like of a roadmap.
Exactly. Yep.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, shoot, that is a 33 question list right there that we
Wait,
pretty
can we
much
make it 34?
plowed through. I was just going to say, so anything else you would like to bring it?
I got slaughtered on Instagram. how many hours should your dance floor be?
2 to 2.5. That's your
Thank
sweet
you.
spot. I'm trying to convince a couple to start. They want to start their wedding at 3 as opposed to 4 because they don't want their guests to be cold.
Sure.
Because it's later in November.
Okay.
But where we're at,
Outside?
it is Old Town Farm.
Oh, yeah.
Bring in
it's-
heaters. They're not that expensive.
Great. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention that. But
send
it's
you-
also a very shaded area. I feel like it's going to be cold regardless. The hour different. I don't know. But we're going to have a 3.5 to almost 4 hour open dance party. And I'm like, I'm down. We'll figure it out. I'm here. I'm your guy. We're going to write it out. And I don't want you to think that like I'm not for that, but there's a way to be effective.
Okay. From a DJ's perspective, let's walk and talk them through this.
Okay.
All right. So that way you can understand what's happening.
Why
here.
we're thinking like this.
If you have a 1.5 to 2.5 window, then that allows us, honestly, when you give us a playlist, first of all, I'm working off of that, right? Like that's my baseline. Like these are the ones that I know, okay, this couple, this is going to get them on the dance floor. I don't really care how big that playlist is, in all honesty, but I think you're trusting us to make the decisions and the music programming that's going to keep people out there for the most amount of time. So to do that, I'm going to play what we call bangers, right? And in an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, we can have nothing but bangers. And I promise you, in that amount of time, you're going to be tired and ready to call it an evening, and everybody's going to go home feeling awesome and amazing.
Yeah.
Facts.
Okay, so now let's drag that out to 4, maybe 4+ hours. Okay, so first of all, you've started, let's just say, your ceremony at 4 o'clock. Okay, and we're not getting to open dancing until roughly around 8 o'clock. That's after your cocktail hour, dinner, going through formalities, speeches, all that stuff.
And being tugged around for photos and
Correct. And hair and makeup started at 7, by the way.
ma'am.
Okay,
Yep.
so
So we know.
you as the couple started way early. Yeah,
7 a.m..
It's a full day, but you've asked your guests now to go from 4 to midnight, and that's a work day.
yeah.
Okay, and the average guest, I mean, at a wedding, is not typically in the 20s. Okay,
party
most
like that,
most
yeah.
of the time it's in, I mean, average age 40s, 50ish, 40s, 50s. You know, so I would just ask you, in your 20s something, okay, when was the last time you went and danced for 4 hours straight at a nightclub or at a bar?
Yeah.
Just for 4 hours, right? And so then you start to think about that. Okay, well, what does the DJ have to do for 4 hours of time now? Do I do 4 hours of bangers?
Yeah.
Tony just said it. We can't have peaks without valleys.
Correct.
So now as the DJ, though, I have to figure out, like, do I spread out the bangers? Do I wait?
We have to be strategic about it if you have a long time.
Do I wait to play this song? Like, let's just say some of the top songs right now. Chaperone.
Yeah. Pink Pony Club, right?
Pony Club.
Hot
Bar-
to go.
bar
Hot to
song.
Go,
Yeah.
bar
Hot to go.
song.
Do I save those? Do I start with those? Now, if I only have an hour and a half, 2 hours, like they're getting
I
played.
gotta play them. I don't have
It's
time.
playing. Like we're getting to everything is great, all the good stuff, everything on your list. You know, when you go 4, 3, 3.5, 4, 5 hours, I have to like think, and maybe I start thinking of spreading stuff out. And guess what happens typically at that 2.5 hour mark?
Yep.
That's when the drop off happens.
And it's usually 10:30, 10:30, and that's when people are tired. Normal people go to bed at a reasonable time.
100%. And from a planner's perspective, you are still paying for the bar for the guests who have left.
Oh.
So you're still paying for most situations where you're not paying price per. So you're not saying, for each bottle of beer. You're still paying by the hour, and it doesn't matter if they leave. Additionally, you're still going to have to pay your DJ additional hours. If you're doing a grand exit, you're going to have to pay your photographer extra hours.
Right.
It's
Oh, let's talk about that because I can't count how many times they've put in a grand exit, like a sparkler exit or something like that,
Yes.
for at the end of the night. And in my mind, after even explaining all this to them, right? Like, we don't have to stay just because you have the room till midnight. Doesn't mean if we start seeing the drop off. And at 11 o'clock, the room is pretty much empty. There's nobody left for your grand
That's it.
sparkler exit.
Yep.
it's the worst. And actually, Maura Jane gave me this idea, which I love, is to do a faux sparkler exit, but don't pull everybody off your dance floor because I don't like that, but to get the wedding party.
Yeah.
Because those are the pictures that you want anyway of the people that are the closest to you, and it'll still look full. You don't need an entire 150 people that way, because once dance floor opens, I'm not stopping it.
Yeah.
I do not like to stop.
I would caution it. One thing to keep into mind and remember, once you open up the dance floor, anytime you stop that dance floor, it's an opportunity for guests to leave.
Correct.
All right. So I would not make an announcement that we're doing. Just have it built into your timeline. If this is where you have a great planner, and then she can like discreetly gather the wedding party to go outside. We're not announcing it to anybody. Don't announce that we're doing this sparkler exit or anything like that. You will have people leave.
Yep.
You know, they will. And
Because
especially
that feels like the ending.
it feels like and we've done that in the past. Always
We're going to do it at 9:30, and then we're just going to invite them all back.
We're gonna get everybody
We'll
back
keep it
in
going
here.
until midnight. And
They're gone.
That's it.
Every single time, because the sparkler exit is always going to take longer than you think it does, because I don't know what those sparklers are coated in. They take forever to light.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
But anything, even your bouquet toss, even a garter toss, anything you do that stops that party, it's your entire goal is once it's open, Don't say another word. And it's going to be great.
Yeah. You're stopping momentum of the guests. So they're having fun, they're dancing, and then you stop and you're like, oh,
Now you allowed them to think.
it's 9 o'clock.
check
Let's get out of here. Yeah.
You allowed them to stop and think and check their watch.
Whereas you're just dancing to the music, having fun. I could dance the night away. You're not even thinking about time.
It's like a casino. You know, you don't want the windows.
There you go.
You're just like, let's get them to lose time.
yeah.
Right.
You know?
And they will, because especially when they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
You know.
And you've done 2.5 hours
Because
or 2
you
hours.
end on that high note. And then you can go to a bar afterward, have an after party. But
Yes.
guess what? That after party is off your budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
there we go.
and then you take the after party into an environment that has
calls
the
for that.
energy.
Yeah.
It has the energy. Like, we can't recreate the energy that we had 2 hours earlier. It's not going to happen, especially if you're in a big ballroom and now most of your people have left.
Yep.
You know, it feels empty. You just can't recreate that vibe.
No.
So let's vibe it out. Let's go hard for 2.5 hours. And then this is the great part. You can create the one last amazing moment that people will leave and remember.
Yeah.
And that's all your family and friends. I just made a post this past week, and the people that were left there at the end of the night, I asked them all to take 2 steps in closer. The energy got up, and we hit the drop on the song. They're fist pumping. It makes for great video.
Big moment at the end.
It's an amazing moment at the end of the night, and they're loving life.
Yeah.
And all of those people will
Never
talk about how it was such an amazing time. We could have stayed all night long.
They'll never forget it.
Yeah, and it's so important. I feel like they talked about it a lot in public speaking, whereas like they don't remember a lot of what you talk about in the middle, but they're gonna remember how you ended.
Yeah.
And so like if you can end on a strong note, they're gonna put that memory in versus like, oh, we danced, it was fine, but yeah, the ending is amazing.
Versus the
So
ending
good.
of leaving at midnight, and the ending felt like, I can't wait to get into my bed.
Yeah.
100%. I think what
Versus
this
I could
always
dance the
goes
night away.
back to is listen to your vendors.
Trust
you have hired them. They love you.
Yeah.
They do.
I feel so bad because they're like, we could go till midnight, and I'm like, can you? I don't want to be that guy, but maybe we should end at 11.
I always say, like, most of my job is breaking hearts.
Yeah.
I spend so much of my time trying to explain to people why something won't work because they're convinced I'm the person that's gotten around this. I'm
Totally.
the person who's figured this out.
I know my people. You know,
Right
we're gonna
here,
go
yeah.
hard till.
This is such a unique industry. You know what I mean? Where it like there is this DIY element, but like there's a lot of professionals who can help you out in that aspect, and so it's just so interesting because I like what you're saying, where it's like I figured it out. I found the
Yeah.
hack. I'm gonna make it, and it's gonna work for me.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna fall into that trap.
And my family is the one to show up for me. My friends are the ones that are
course,
going to
yeah,
make this
yeah.
happen because nobody wants to hear that it might rain on your wedding day. Nobody wants to hear that.
Right.
But trust your vendors.
Yeah. Well, and then and alcohol takes over
That's
sometimes. You know.
That's
and
step 10, I think.
Yeah.
As everybody that says they're going to break down your wedding, they believe it in their hearts, but that was 10 vodka tonics ago,
Right.
and they're in an Uber. They're gone.
Yep.
They are not here anymore. And it's hard because I am telling people these things that they truly don't believe me. They believe that they are the exception and not the rule.
I believe it.
And then I have to watch hearts being broken. For example, this wedding, oh my gosh, really quickly, she had everything right. She did all 12 of my DIY steps perfectly. This mom and this bride were meticulous. All this DIY decor, and she was so artistic, it was gorgeous. We walk into the venue, the entirety of the Friday wedding was still left out.
Oh my gosh.
Dirty linens. They had books on books on books, these tiny little petals decor. They left their card box and a laptop.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, so we had to take 45 minutes to an hour to break down what they had done.
Sucks.
But so they had a good plan.
Now you're an hour behind.
Exactly. But we were fine because I don't do late weddings.
There you go.
I padded it in.
That's
but
right.
you can do everything, but if you're going to do it yourself, you're going to run into those problems. And that's why bringing in those professionals is everything.
I love it.
This was awesome. I see. I knew this
I mean, this
episode was
was
going to be
2 hours, I feel like.
Oh,
It was 2 hours. We're on the 2 hour.
Are we really?
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
we're close.
We were already talking about cutting it into 2.
This is for you couples.
Yeah.
All right. This is what this was for.
Please watch this episode. My goodness. I am a engaged person myself, and I was like, taking all this information in, just talking to you, and I'm
Oh,
like,
I
this is
got you.
fantastic. So
We'll take care of it offline.
figure it out.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it so much, and I'm finding a lot of value in it. So I can't imagine to our couples out there who are
I'm
getting
so
married,
glad.
they find some value in this too, and hire a professional.
We're gonna probably have to make this like a monthly thing. Because Meredith has the following. We have people that need answers and need help out there.
We know how to answer questions. I think
yeah.
it could be cool too, where we do like a photographer and bring in Mara.
Yeah.
All 4 of us.
I would love
Be
that.
fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I dig it. No,
Totally
this is
agree.
good stuff. Well, but thank you. So let everybody
thank
know
you for the work
where
you do,
can
too.
where can they find you?
I always forget to do that. My husband was like, "Don't forget to plug
Yeah,
yourself."
gotta get the plug.
Meredith Keating Events, Instagram, mostly Instagram, a little bit on TikTok, but you're going to find me on there Mondays. As soon as you wake up, there's going to be a screen on my stories. You can ask me absolutely anything that you want. Meredith Keating Events, I'm always there. But please, questions only on Mondays.
Yeah, yeah.
My DMs.
I
are
know you
wild.
try, but I've seen you leaking into Tuesday and
I
Wednesdays.
do.
sometimes.
I do. Because I really want to provide this information because not everybody can hire a planner. Not everybody can afford a day of coordinator. And sometimes you just have a very specific question that you can't Google.
Yeah.
And so I really try. But I don't get to all of them, but I'm trying.
No, you do
No,
all right.
It's so good. And you can find us at Cutmaster Music. For those of you that are listening, we'd appreciate the follow. If you're not already,
Subscribe.
go back and listen to some of the previous episodes for you couples that are coming from Meredith's world and you're looking for. I mean, we've got photographers, other vendors and guests that we've had on the pod that could also be
Video.
super helpful. As you're planning your events. So
Yeah, my followers, they are super useful. If you have not checked out their podcasts, all of them are super, super useful. Meredith Keating Events approved.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
That's a stamp right there. I like that
bam,
one.
that's how we're ending this, and we're going out with our brand new track.
Oh, yeah. Banger.
You're gonna find this soon.
On all Apple
That's
Music.
right.
Just kidding. Thanks, y'all.
See ya.
She's the best in town now. Wedding dreams come true. Wow, hot takes that'll make you bow. Flower girls into a twirl, sparkle lights make hearts whirl. Color schemes that pop, pearl wedding scenes that make you hurl. Hot takes, make no mistakes. Meredith's ways, brighten your days.